Okay, so today's YouTube video, I'm going to be explaining everything I've done to this thing in the past 3 months. Tons of huge upgrades and tons of future plans. So hope you enjoy the video. Like, subscribe, comment. Give me 200K subs by tomorrow. Okay, so the first huge thing that we did, that's kind of an upgrade, but basically kept the same, is the transmission. So it blew up about 3 months ago. I couldn't go in reverse, first gear, anything. It's completely blown up. Tried to go down the street, couldn't go down the street. It was horrible. So first thing we did, and the only thing we were going to do originally, was switch the transmission, upgrade the transmission, whatever you want to say. But we kept the automatic transmission. So the reason behind that was, it was what, 2 or 3 more thousand to upgrade that. So didn't want to do that and wanted to keep this thing original. It's 99% original if you don't know, 36,000 original miles, same paint, same everything. Very original car, we want to keep it that way. So that was the idea behind that. Runs 10 times better than it did before. But yeah, moving on. So that was the first thing. Then the mechanic saw it, because I didn't do it myself, don't have a lift at my home. Mechanic saw the engine and was like, kind of needs resealed. And we kind of knew that because it kind of leaked oil a little bit, but not too much. So introducing the same engine, but looks 1,000,000 times better, is the 289 V8 in Ford Blue. So I put on that sticker myself. It's perfectly in the middle if you can't tell, from all the years of doing Legos, if you know what I'm saying. So also the exhaust manifold, if you can tell, I don't know if you can see it from here, but those were kind of rusted out. They're now painted black. Let's see, can you even see that? You can kind of see it. I'll edit that. But anyways, those are black, so that was a huge upgrade because they looked horrible. They were rusted out. And then also, if you look at these belts are all blacked out, basically repainted. So yeah, that was, I wanted to keep it original because it was what? It was gray. They didn't look that good. Gray, old. Still the same engine, resealed. But honestly, it feels like I added 30 horsepower to this thing just by resealing it. So it definitely sounds a little bit different, and it runs way better than it did before. Also, we got the carburetor retuned, so that is way better than before. Every time you go to reverse with the old same carburetor, every time you go to reverse, it would basically just die out on you, which sucked. So no more problems with that. So 10 times better of a car just by that engine, and the transmission is dialed. Everything's dialed right now. So, but if you look at this engine bay, if you can't tell, I'll take the camera real quick. If you can't tell, it is mostly original, except the radiator and then the fans. So, looks 10 times better. It would have been nice to paint the engine bay a little bit. You can tell it's a little bit just disgusting. All right, brief interruption. I forgot a lot of parts. This is the next day, and I'm about to explain all the extra parts that I forgot to mention. So, first things first, painted the exhaust manifold. I think I said the water pump in the video. Harmonic balancer got replaced. That was apparently really bad. Thermostat, I think I said that too. Spark plugs, of course. Radiator hoses, U-joints, and then all the fuel lines. So yeah, brief interruption, but I guess I forgot all those in the video. Okay, so those are big upgrades, but the biggest upgrade is the brakes. So originally I had the original drum brakes. Those were horrible. Horrible brakes. I had to basically stop 200 feet in front of everyone so I didn't crash because the brakes were that bad. So decided to get some CJ Pony Part brakes. You can tell, full-on disc brakes, brand new. They're amazing. They're just amazing. That's all I can really say. It's on all 4 wheels, not two disc. It's a 4 disc. So best upgrade you can get, in my opinion. Definitely a completely different car from when we first put that thing into the shop. But yeah, the only problem with that right now, and why I haven't been posting as much, is the taillights don't work. So the running lights work, the hazard lights work, the turning light works, but the brake lights don't work. So that's probably the one thing you want the most, honestly, and it doesn't work. So that sucks. But getting that fixed pretty soon. By the only time you hear about me yapping about this. But yeah, the one problem though, while this thing was at a shop, is that they kept it outside. If you know me, you know I keep this thing in the garage 24/7. Very original car, don't want it to get rusted. So if you come over, look right here. The biggest defect is if you look down here, we have a little bit of rust, surface rust. So that sucks. Or just around the car, you can tell the paint's just not as good as it used to be. That really sucks to me because I obviously want to keep this paint. But yeah, in the future though, if you're wondering, it will stay the same color no matter what. Nothing's changing with that. But yeah, moving on. Another problem with this car, so I'm gonna start going to the things that I want to fix / upgrades that will definitely happen in the future. So first thing is steering wheel has play. No one wants play in the steering wheel. That sucks. So we're gonna fix that. That'll probably be sooner than later because the car, everything else is dialed except that, in my opinion. So that sucks. Also forgot to say about the engine. Basically, I got a water pump because that thing was apparently about to break. So got a new water pump. But yeah, that's the basis. Also, I just realized they painted this too. Actually, these look all brand new. You know, I never even noticed that. How do I not notice that? Anyways, I guess that's the upgrade I just found right here live. So that's great. But yeah, moving on. The next biggest upgrade that I plan on doing is going to be my exhaust. And maybe headers in the future, but we'll talk about that later. So the exhaust, it's all original. Sounds good, but it definitely sound better. So in the future, I'm gonna try to get some Black Widows. But these are original dual exhausts that came with the car. Pretty rare option to have, but yeah. That's a big thing. I want it to sound a little bit better. It sounds great right now, honestly. It sounds better than it did before. But yeah, moving on, the next biggest upgrade I plan on doing is full coilovers, basically. So I want coilovers on all four. If you look at my, right here, I forgot what this is called, the lift, I guess. But there's very little room. It's already pretty dialed, and if you look at the front, they're even more dialed. I mean, I can barely put my finger right there. So very dialed setup I already have. Could be a little bit more dialed. Suspension is still original. Maybe want to change that. That's not a definite thing that will happen, but if I can get a sponsorship, I'll definitely do that. So that's another big thing. The next is the bumper. So if you look at it from way back here, you can tell that it's a little bit crooked. So this thing was an accident a very long time ago. And yes, that made it crooked. Also, if you look at it pretty up close, just has some messed up parts about it. Chrome's chipped. It just doesn't look that good. So gonna probably replace that. Don't really know the answer to that yet, but that's probably what's gonna happen. And yeah, that's basically the biggest upgrades I can think of right now off the top of my head. If you look in the interior is basically perfect except the carpet. So looking at the carpet, it doesn't look that good. It's just not a good color. It doesn't match the beige I have in here, so that sucks. Also, another thing I need to do is tuck in these wires, and this is very loose. That'll be definitely fixed in the future. But yeah, those are the biggest upgrades I can think of right now, and really all that needs to be done to it. Plan on keeping the same engine, obviously just repainted that, no reason to do anything to that. The brakes are great, once again. Everything's really dialed except the steering right now. So that should be the basis of the, Jesus, look at all this disgusting shit. Anyways, that's the basis of everything that's gonna be done to it. I love losing my words mid-sentence. Okay, pause. So if y'all know, I've had this car since 2019. I don't know how old it was, 15 or so. Technically my first car. But anyways, this is the most dialed it's ever been. You know, many things have changed with this car. And it's probably been in the shop or slash broken down. What do you say? 3 weeks?
No, 3 months.
Oh, no, definitely longer. Probably at least a year and a half, maybe 2. Because, I mean, think about it. We had the wiring harness all messed up. If you come over here, just might as well run. Also, maybe some new speakers, because we don't really use them, I guess, but those are old, not original. Don't like them. But if you open this up, originally when we got this car, it had wiring all up in here. That's now completely cleaned out. But there's just been a bunch of stuff done to this car, and right now it's the most dialed. So, loving this car right now. It's a great driver's car. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. It runs great. I don't even know where I was going with that, but I'm just super happy with how this thing is. I thought this was chipped there. It did take forever from the mechanics to help out. But also one big thing, the brakes. So the company we got these brakes from wasn't CJ Pony Parts' fault. It's the actual brand that we got this from. But they sent us, this car is basically supposed to be done by what, Thanksgiving or so. We got this like a whole month later, which sucked. But they gave us Chevy truck brake pads instead of Ford. So that was horrible. Had to basically wait another month to get this car. So that sucked, not only for me, but for the mechanics, because they tried to put these on for like 2 weeks or so, didn't work. No, not 2 weeks, it was like 2 days. But anyways, they wasted a whole 2 days trying to get these brakes on, wondering why it wasn't working. Well, they're Chevy parts, so that sucked. Anyways, some other things that happened. Transmission, when they're trying to basically finish it, it would only go from first to second gear. So third gear didn't work. Obviously it doesn't work. So that also took another week. Not blaming the mechanic. The mechanic was a great guy. You know, he worked on this very well. Obviously everything's running perfect. So just a small misstep. Also, if y'all don't know, these brake pads / brakes were made for a 15-inch wheel. I have 14-inch wheels. So when we first got to test drive it, they were rubbing, obviously. So that sucked. Took another couple days for that. Basically, there's a lot of delays with this car. End up turning out perfect, except the brake lights right now. And the paint, that kind of sucks. But it's a great car right now. It's perfect in my opinion. But yeah, anyways, to wrap up the video, I forgot my words again. Also, with getting headers, the problem is apparently you have to pull the engine to get the left or right side out. So that's one thing that I really want to do, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. That just take way too long and just too much work. Anyways, the last thing I forgot to mention that probably needs is a posse track. This thing is a one-wheel peel right now. Don't really like that. So probably going to change that out. But yeah, that's the basis of this whole car. Hope you enjoy this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Give me to 100K by tomorrow. And yeah, hope you enjoy the video.